So I think we had reached till. Can you make it a little bigger, please?
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, it's better. So we had done till requester, I think, priority cushion, priority. Now for all of them, there'll not be too much description because all of them are not, they're not rule based. They're just information or the purely just attributes for reporting purposes. So priority quotient and priority code source are just attributes which identify some
Wait,
features of the.
in which one are you right now? Sorry.
I'm in the first left panel down below, almost down. Priority source, priority.
Okay, yeah.
So they are just attributes for reporting purposes. So there's not much, there's no validation tied to it. They're purely attributes of a project. And ODC memo comments is basically the comments which are required when attributes are changed. There's a list of attributes. Mainly 90% of the attributes when they get changed on this page, you need to add comments. This has been introduced lately. It goes into the ODC memo comments, but there's a placeholder to enter the comments here because it doesn't let you save until those comments are entered. Can you scroll to the right now so that we could look at the right side attributes? Couple of them have validations, not all of them. So LLW update completed. This is hold on, okay, after you, yeah. Okay, LLW update completed. This is a significant attribute which is tied to a status update, which is very seldom in the application that statuses are updated via PTS. If there are few instances, I won't say there are none, but this is one of the first one where the status gets updated via PTS. So the project comes in as PCPSAC and the project controls works on it, whatever admin work, paperwork they have. And once they are done, they come here into this page and mark this column. DDA does this usually. He marks it as LLW update completed. So as soon as he does that internally, when it saves, the status gets changed to PCPS ready to forward, which means they've done their updates to the LLW. It's completed. So it feeds the project controls pre-scope complete date is populated, the end date that it's done, and it's ready to forward. Now, at times it's ready to forward status, at times it goes to the next activity. This happens when, in this case, project controls is a department, basically ODC, and they are done with their work. So now it's going to get handed over to another department. Whenever it's getting handed over to another department, there is a concept of forwarding because it's a they're not working within the department. They have to hand it over to another department. And the other example I'll give you for any. So right now what happens is PCPS ready to forward. That means they've completed their job. They're ready to hand it over to the new department. And how does that happen? Once it attains the status of ready to forward, the forwarding happens to the routing page, which is under generic functions. I don't know if you have access in the menu. So that's another page. We'll come to that later. But this was one of his significant attributes, which results in a status change. And what else? hmm Citywide and what is these
What is
all attributes?
this button for? Oh, for the comments.
Yeah. So other attributes that the checkboxes that are being shown, multi-building is main project. There's a checkbox called is main project, right? Is main project. Yes, there was a checkbox. That has a bit of validation tied to it. And that's the main project. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's based on the DSF number. There could be multiple projects with the same DSF number, but only one out of them could be marked as main project. So say there are 4 LLWs which have the same DSF number, and then one of them is marked as the main project, and it was wrongly marked as the main project. So if we go and try to change it at LLW4, we want to make the main project. So internally when you save, it marks the LLW4 as the main project, but it also goes to LLW1 and unchecks the main project because only one project can be main project within the set of LLWs with the same DSF number. So this has this kind of a save or internal update to another LLW if it's updated. Most of the others are just informative. There's no validation or rules behind it. And occupancy date, FMS number, project, yeah, commitment plan, yeah. They don't have validations related to it. They just put, most of them come from PIP and then they update it here. So down the line, they do not necessarily match with PIP. And MS4 was introduced lately. MS4, if you see, is a display only. So, some of them are editable, some of them are not editable. They are just displayed. So when they're displayed only, they're coming from other, sometimes from other applications and sometimes multi-building, multi-building, okay. Multi-building comes into play later. I'll talk about it when we go to design model. It doesn't have significance when a project is just at LLW level, but when it goes beyond in its life cycle, it has significance. So I'll talk about it later. So this is what the project indicators tab is on the API page, additional project information page. The other tabs also, lightly we'll just browse through the tabs. Can you go up, Aldo? Yeah, what are the tabs? Project indicator, then what do we have? Comments, amounts, something.
Are we going to be going into detail about RESOA later?
What do you want to know about Razor? It's an
Well,
attribute. It has
yeah,
a
but
year associated.
I've seen in the code that if it is RESOA, then it has like a different flow of actions. So you just want to know or we can just know
No,
what is RESOA?
project doesn't flow differently if it's a resume in terms of it flows via management template. It's an indicator. I don't know what it stands for, but if it's resume, they have additional information they capture, which is the resume year also.
Okay.
Simon,
Mm.
do you know what RESOI stands for? I think it's busy.
Okay, what is the second tab?
Comments.
Okay, so these are all the type of comments that are there in the application for a project. They're at different level. ODC memo and ODC comments are the two which are at the LLW level. Then we have A&E comments which are at LLW level also and which are at a memo. It could be at LLW level, and so different types of comments that are defined are over here. And this is a consolidated window to see all the comments that are there for a project. Lately, okay, here I think the script was run twice. So lately SWB comment was added to the application, and that was fairly simple through a script because it is very well designed where you could add it and it starts appearing here and saving and everything, and then they can use it. So because of that robust design, it was very simple to add a new comment, and they have it and they started using it. So this is fairly simple screen where all the comments show at one place. There's other places through which you could access all the comments. This is one of them through the API page and the comments tab. Go to the next tab. This is what additional attributes. So these are flex fields. Basically, these are defined in the application by the user and they start appearing and the user can capture the information. So it's basically flexible fields that they define. So these fields are defined in reference data. There's a option to define these, and once they're defined, they start appearing here and the user can provide values for this. So there are a couple of, there's a text column. You can define whatever new field you define. It could be a text column, it could be a checkbox, it could be a date or whatever. So when we go to that reference data page, you'll see how we define it. And once defined, it starts appearing here and they capture the values and use it for reporting purpose. Okay, that's it for this page, means this
Okay.
tab. Okay, and I think Aldo, you are logged in as a read-only user or something. Let me see your menu because you should have had another tab for amounts. So looks like you're logged in as read-only. And read-only user doesn't have access to monetary numbers.
Yeah.
So for security purpose, so you cannot see the amounts tab. If you were read-only extended with view estimates, two together, view read-only
Can I add
extended,
myself on the designations in here?
not designations. You have to add the security group.
Okay.
You have to change your read-only to read-only extended and add view estimates, and then everything would start appearing. I think, well, you have an elaborate menu. So it looks like, oh, you have read-only extended, but you don't have view estimates. That's why the numbers are not showing to you. So if you have view estimates, you can do this later. You can add view estimates to yourself, give view estimates group to yourself and see what difference. API page, see, you'll see another tab. And that'll have all the possible numbers for a project, a summary, a matrix. So that difference would be there, and a couple of more things will show up. So well, this would be one of them. That main thing is that you'll start seeing the estimates, numbers associated with the project. You'll start seeing funding source, which tells the project is funded from what category and how much is it funded from that category and things like that, details related to amounts. So this was API page for a CIP project. API page for a capacity project has a little different look and feel. And if you want to pull up, because we've already discussed management template, there'll be a lot of common fields, yes, but there'll be a lot of fields which will not be there in capacity, and there'll be fields which will be additional in capacity, which are not in CIP. So a little bit twist, but not everything is different. Management template and also those significant ones we've already talked about. So it should be quick if you want to pull up a capacity project and go to the API page so that we are kind of done with the API page to a certain extent. We'll revisit
So
when
you
needed.
want me to go into the sign page? That's what you're saying?
No, pull up a capacity project.
Okay.
Search for a
Like this one.
capacity
Like
project.
this one. Yeah.
Is this a capacity?
Yeah.
Where is it saying?
This is a capacity. Yeah. Let me go to QA.
Yeah, it is
But
capacity.
I
That's okay. That's okay. It was a capacity. You could stay there.
No, but when I click on it, I mean, since development is using the slower indexing from QA.
Yes, that's something needs to be fixed. I hope you have told Simon, and that's something that needs to be fixed. That, you know, we come across it, we know it, then one fine day we forget and we are zapped with what is not showing and what is showing.
I have a user story for this holder indexing. We just need to find a sprint to address it. So hopefully when Aldo gets back, we can address it.
No, that's a whole setup thing. The solar indexing from one environment is pointing to another. So I think we need separate environment for either. It's a setup thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why it is not bringing any data. I mean, when I click on the
Again, same, Aldo. Even QA is pointing to QA doesn't have its own. So I think everything is using UAT. Why don't you open UAT itself? You can go to API page even if you're
UAT
you can
QA
go
is
to
actually
API page even if you're a read-only user. So
no, but QA does actually has its own solar indexing.
then why is it not picking it up?
I don't know. This one is not working either.
This is UAT?
Yeah.
Nothing is working. What's happening? Give it a little. Is it taking a little time to pull up?
A little bit.
So then give it a little time. Maybe it's coming
Yeah,
up.
when I click on it, this is a schedule information not available, and then I click on it again.
It could say that schedule information not available for very old projects. What is the number?
Okay.
Because PPM doesn't hold schedules for very old projects. So that message we do get for old projects. I don't know if the project you're pulling is an old one or not.
Okay. So it is not bringing any data for this.
What is the LLW number?
What is this one? 24, 73,
No,
87.
the 24 is dummy ones which they created. We haven't reached 24. Use something realistic.
How can I filter here for
No,
capacity? Is it on the top?
you, and that is something I went through. Management template, normal CI capacity,
Oh,
SCA, and
this
then.
normal capacity, this one?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So one like this one. Do I
What is
click
the
it?
number?
138232.
Yeah, it should be good.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
there it is.
So again, make it a little bigger, please, for me.
Yeah, which part?
Yeah, the attributes itself. So again, this has project indicators, comments, and same three tabs. But if you see the feel is look and feel is a little different. The attributes, some of them are different from ADA. ADA attributes were added lately. I don't know much about them. If they hold any validation or significant, I mean, significance definitely they hold, but any validations, any tie-ups, any constraints. So basically, all others. So this you could see yourself. The ones which don't look familiar to the CIP ones are specific to capacity and management template and all will be there. But I think it's at a different. It's placed at a different. This placement is on the right side. So which ones? I'm just trying to see if there's any which building code requires licensing approval, signed lease. Yeah, they're very specific to. Most of them are specific to capacity project, but not much validation. Now go to the right side.
Which right side?
It should have. That's all it
More
has.
fields? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all.
Does it have management template anywhere in this?
Mm,
Why the right panel didn't show? I think the management template comes on the right panel. There's another set of attributes in the means there's two. You
you're
don't
saying
see.
that this fields, they come from the database, right? I mean, you enable them to appear
Oh
in
no,
this.
you're on a different tab now. I said project indicators tab.
Oh,
The first tab is what I'm
I
talking about.
understood it was attributes.
Well, attributes, yes, these are called attributes also, but the thing is, those are additional or flexible attributes. So this is the one I'm talking about. Make it a little bigger now. This
Yeah,
is the one
on
where
the
on
right
the
side.
right. Yeah, no, but left side also I was talking about additional attributes at that point. That's why I said they look not familiar. So anyway, BCC plan examiner. The BCC plan examiner is what Patricia sends and we update. So basically, she wants the bulk updates to be done, so we do it. Otherwise, they can come and do it through the application and through the API page. So why I'm just mentioning is sometimes when they just send a random case and you know that it's there and where it is, you can point them and ask them that one or two odd cases would be faster if you do it yourself. Usually they don't, but I have faced so many times they'll send a request, especially new users. They don't know who's can update, so they send it to PTS to update, and a ticket gets created and gets assigned to us. I do not do those tickets. I just reach out to them and make them do it, and which they are fine. They don't get offended because or I just point them that you could reach out to Dora and she can do it for you, and they reach out and it gets done definitely much quicker. So when you get tickets, the first thing to look is I doesn't happen all the time. I would say 25% of the times or 20% of the times I come across these tickets which the user can do themselves. But a user A wants to do it, but he doesn't have rights, but he doesn't know user B can do it, so he sends it to PTS. So I point them to just a minute, okay, ma'am. Sorry about that. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay. So where were we? What were we talking about? Yeah. So basically, anytime the ticket comes, first thing just check if the user can do it. And if yes, get it done from them. So they know it for next time. So that time itself, it gets done quicker for them. It saves us from sending scripts for very trivial thing. And for future, they know what to do and whom to reach out to. So it serves a lot of purpose. So that's the first thing I see. And there are times when I do have multiple users have to get involved, it's multiple steps. And I just write down Dora do this, Didier do this, and whoever else is involved do this, and they're done. They do it and they're good. They're good. They do it. So basically, that BCC plan examiner, we don't get individual updates. We usually get bulk updates only. And then chief project officer, so this is common, which is to CIP projects. So there'll be some common, there'll be some which are specific to this, and there'll be some which are not here, which was specific to CIP. So there's not much to tell except down below there's a grid which says subcontractor information, right? That is that could be multiple. That's another attribute associated with the capacity project. And I think there's a column here which little bit clarity I myself need, which is similar to LLW update completed. On the right top corner, I think it's just, what does it say? What is that? Project control survey completed, right? No, review completed, not survey. Sorry, review completed. I think this is the one which kind of works on similar lines. It probably has a status update, but this I will have to read the code and tell because I don't means have I don't remember what it how it's controlled. Rest of the attributes are attributes. The significant ones are here also management template and the agency and all. So I don't think so. We need to touch each attribute over here. So we are done with this page. I just wanted to show that it has a different look and feel. And that's about it. Just because of your access, you don't have the amounts tab, so which we can visit later after we give access. Okay, now next API page is kind of done. So the user, mostly the ODC people use it to update the things and then they mark it completed. So it moves forward. Once it moves forward, it's forwarded using generic. There's a in the main menu after home, there is another option called generic main menu. After home, there is, you don't have it. You have it? What is the second one you have? So
Yeah,
there's one.
yeah, let's go. Let's use this one over here.
Yeah, you have
Give me
LLW. Before LLW, there's one generic functions, the bits from the security that appears, which has project routing as a functionality or a page via which you could forward. So, like this LLW that I took into consideration that it originated with the status of PCPSAC. They did what they had to do. They went and marked it as LLW update completed. It moved to PCPS ready to forward. That is the end date was populated. So this is one case where the date is populated into PPM via PTS. Very, very seldom, but yes, this is one of the cases where PTS sends the date saying that the end date of prescope was this. How it gets updated there. So, and then it's ready to forward. So somebody, mostly DDA, takes that forwarding action, and then that's when it's basically handing over ceremony kind of a thing. So he hands it over to the A&E department. When that forwarding is done, the status changes to AE PD inbox. So AE stands for architecture and engineering, which is the next department in the workflow. PD stands for pre-design, which is scope. They initially used to call it pre-design, so the code is PD. And it lands into the inbox, which means it is there, but they haven't started the work. So when they start the work, the status will move, which is via PPM. So most of the statuses would move via PPM. So this is to do with the forwarding. I've just, without looking at the screen, I've just told you. but it has various options to forward at different stages of a project. So at LLW level, like the one we talked about is at LLW level, that is where you are forwarding a LLW to its next stage of task to be done. We could be forwarding a design bundle. We could be not forwarding a package. Package is the last level of project. So, and then there are times we reverse forward. So supposing it went to Annie and Annie says, looks at and says, oh, you did not do this. So it should go back to you. You finish this and then give it to us. That's when reverse forwarding comes into play. That A&E, we sent it to A&E, DDR sent it to A&E, but A&E said, no, your work is, by chance you missed out on something and we cannot start until you finish that. So they send it back to project control. So there's reverse forwarding also. The rules for this, again, it's very rule-based when what can be done. And based on that only the grid gets populated. It's more or less similar to on the same lines at your bulk management template where up you select what level, what status and everything. And then down below, based on the rules table, it brings the various status that the project can be changed to for each LLW. Ideally, it's mostly one, but there are times that there are two, mostly FNE is the second time option available. So that's how it moves, and then for major part, the statuses move through PPM dates being fed. So when they feed the date, they change the status, they send it to PTS and it gets updated. It's a long way right now, the way it gets updated, but things will get better. Because PPM is an Oracle, it sends it to Oracle. So Saraware introduced a staging table in Oracle, so it comes into the staging table and then it gets processed through a scheduler job where it reads data from the Oracle table and it processes and puts it into PTS in SQL Server PTS. So that's how it happens. But it runs frequently, so it's a little bit delay, not too much. So sometimes when they do something and they say it's not showing, then you have to check when did you do it, how long did you do it, because sometimes they could be checking right away and they know by now actually, but sometimes still we do make mistakes. So that's another area which is nothing to do, but there's noise about it.
Yeah.
So
Monica, these are stations, right?
which ones?
These ones that I'm selecting. Project control and architecture and engineering.
Yes, these are project under, yes, these are stations.
And this is similar to in some way, I'm not saying
Yes.
exactly, to the bulk management screen, in which once that you change them from one status to another, when we change the management template type, it will change the whole status, right?
Yeah, it's not one-on-one similar, but something close, same analogy.
Okay.
Like first thing is, what is the radio button? It says forward. What does the radio button say?
Forward, yeah. Forward
Yeah.
and reverse.
So first you select the level. So some levels would have forward and reverse both. Some would not have the option to reverse or to forward. Like package ideally, I think would not have an option to forward because there is nothing beyond package level. So based on what you select and in the behind the scenes, like in your management template also, it was based on a rules table. Here also it's all rules controlled, which is very good. And it fetches the projects, and some LLW down in the grid you would see 2 times because there are 2 choices. It has 2 paths where it could go. Like it could get changed to FNE only project or it could just move to any, something like that. So you might get 2 options for an LLW at times, which is fine. They select what they have to and the project moves forward. So once they click on the action button, it does internal processing, changes the status, feeds it to PPM and everything. So everything is in sync. So this is a status updating screen. Means this is a screen which updates the status.
Oh, so it will be calling an API from PPM to update a status over there as well?
It would be passing the information. How it gets updated? Yeah, I assume their API, yeah. Their API, yeah. Which
Okay.
updates at their end. There are times the status get updated. There are times when, okay, we'll come to that. I'll come to that when we could do design bundle. So this is lightly touching the project routing screen. Now go to the LLW menu. Let's see, what does that have? What is the first option?
Estimate tracking.
Oh, I don't want to touch that. That's related to capacity project and very exhaustive. Let's do something more
It says
specific.
allocate founding source.
Yeah, you could go to that. Now that you have logged in as whatever and wherever, I think you would have access for a minute. You want to go to API page and see that amounts tab because that will correlate to this funding source.
Yeah.
Do you see additional tabs? You see two additional tabs. What are they?
Yeah. A school change amounts and school change.
Okay, so there were two more options which were not visible because of your security level. The school change is to change the school associated with an LLW. You want to go to that?
Yeah.
It's quick. So the top panel should show you why nothing is coming up. It should show you. Okay. It doesn't show you the school, which is okay. Put some building number. The top panel is for searching, I assume.
This one.
Mm-hmm. K201 or something. Should be a drop down actually. I don't know.
Search schools.
Nothing came up.
Yeah. It came one record that says Borough Brooklyn, Building K201, organization name.
Basically, when you want to change the school associated with the LLW, what happens is that's another lightly, I'll tell what I know. That when, especially for capacity projects, say they're making a school, they do feasibility study to figure out where it will be the best place to. They have a couple of options. Just a minute. Just a minute. Yeah. So when a new school is constructed, they do feasibility study. They could find maybe in Brooklyn three pieces of land where they could build a school. So they do feasibility study to figure out which is the best spot to make the school. So at that point, okay, then they select. Now it's a new building coming up. So there's a stage when they don't know the building, what are they going to name the building or anything. So what they do is they put dummy buildings codes. Mostly it'll be K000, something like that. So, and then what they start the LLW, they know what they have to do. They put one for, or they could be a place where they have to demolish something and then build something. So the demolition project, when they're doing, they don't know what they're really going to name the school or building. So they put a dummy building code. And then these are the times when most of the times it's these cases where they have to come and change the school because now they have a real school code, building code for the that is associated with the LLW. So they come and change over here. So basically they pull up based on whatever filter criteria they want to, and then they just change and save it, and that's what it's used for. That's the purpose of this. Used to be a separate screen earlier, but now we have it here. So there are times when I also forget that it's a tab in API page, and I look into the LLW menu because it used to be a menu option before. I'm just lightly mentioning it because sometime if I forget, you can remind me. Lately, I don't, but I have forgotten it one couple of times. Okay, and then now go to the amounts tab. That is a little okay. What does it say? Oh, you clicked on the view dollar estimate?
Yeah.
Okay. Why it doesn't show you anything? This data doesn't look too good to me.
Yeah.
It
Do you
should.
want me to select another LW?
No, I can talk about it. But original plan total DoD authorized amount Original plan construction, DOD authorized construction. So there you see there are two original values and two the same which don't have the prefix of original. So these are the values which the project when it gets created, I think initiates all this in CPS and it travels to PIP and then it comes to PTS. So ideally, most 99% of the times the original value is populated and that's never changed because that's a baseline. And the other ones, other two, they keep getting changed and they're revised as per as the project moves and they know the refinements and they are update accordingly. So, and down below the grid shows you funding source, which is basically the project is funded. So DOED, I think DOED authorized total or construction. Okay, this is a place where you're seeing the funding amounts for display purposes, but where they're entered or they're maintained is the other page funding source. So let's go there and then we can, I don't know for this LLW we'll get anything over there also or not. So basically, what is it funding? There are various categories of funding a project that there are various buckets which
You
get
want me
money.
to click to go to the main founding source page, right?
Yeah,
You have
but
to click.
it's the same what we are seeing here. It's a display of that page itself over here. So
Yeah.
people who don't have access to allocate funding source or change it, they go to the API page and funding and amounts tab and see the breakup or whatever.
Okay. So this is a review only page, right?
Yes. So where we'll go is the place where these numbers are maintained. So, but everybody won't have access to that. So people who don't have access to work on it, but still have access to view it, they usually come to API page and the amounts tab to see it. So let's go to the page so that we can talk in one shot over there. To the under LLW,
Yeah, there's
okay,
the same
yeah,
thing. There's no data
yeah,
for this one.
okay, yeah, there will not be because that's what same thing is showing over there. So basically, let's pull up another LLW because it'll make it more clear to you. Let's pull up something else randomly. Should have. What is the LLW number which you picked up?
Oh, 24. It is also a dummy
No,
one.
24 is no good. Why are you picking up 24?
No, I didn't pick it. It was already there. So you want me to go against normal capacity, right?
No, go CIP.
Normal
You
CIP.
could go. You could go any actually for funding source because funding is done for all projects, but not necessary to be specific capacity projects. Its funding is done for all projects. It's a functionality or it's something maintained for all projects. Just go to funding source page.
Which LW do you want me to try?
Try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just saying randomly.
Okay, there it is.
Oh, it had. Okay. Okay, so now you see it says funding source 1E4, which is Windows. So basically, this project must be to do with Windows. So the funding is coming from the money which is allocated for Windows in the fiscal year. So basically, it tells what bucket the money is coming from. Funding source could be multiple for a project, one or more. So there are times or you'll come across LLWs which will have multiple. That's why it's a grid, and you'll see two funding sources saying it this much money comes from this source and this much money comes from this source. So and then there's a total. So the total is the total funded amount. So DOD authorized total amount is the sum of the funding sources. So if there are two funding sources and one says this has 0 as the amount, okay, this is also not a good example, but anyway. But basically, if there are one funding source and it says it says $2,000. I'm just taking a small number. So the total DID authorized total funding source total will be 2,000. In that case, I'm taking first example of one funding source. If it's 2,000 in the funding amount, the funding source total will be 2,000 and the DOED authorized total amount will be 2,000 also because that's sum of the funding sources. If there are two funding sources, one has 2,000, the other has 3,000, funding source total would be 5,000. And the DID authorized total amount would also be 5,000. So basically, for total funding amount and DID authorized total amount are always should be in sync and are in sync. And DID authorized total amount resides in the LLW table. It comes initially from PIP. The original amounts also come, and the DID authorized also come, which ideally come as same. And then this one keeps getting revised, and the original stays as a baseline for reference. And when you change the funding amount, or you delete, or you bring up another one, the comments needed. So you add the comments, and they go into funding source comments, which is separate comment. And then there is, which appears here, and it goes into ODC memo also. So you can always go and see that it put the same comment in ODC memo as a consolidated placeholder for comments. So they wanted it to be replicated there because they didn't want, they just wanted it there also. So we put it. So there are times when you enter the comments, they're going into more than one placeholder. So this is one of them. And what else? So funding source is done. Next is contingency. How much time we have left? Still time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manage contingency, right?
Yeah, that's close to funding source and kind of related to funding source. So there are times when for projects they define contingency, some backup plans and amounts. So again, it's based on funding source, and it gets added to the whatever is the contingency. It gets added to the total DID authorized total amount also. And the contingency details are given down below, saying when it was authorized and what was the amount that was authorized, and that amount gets totaled up with the funding source to define the DID authorized total amount. So here there's some cross validations of amounts saying that this plus this equal to this, and things like that. This, if you use it, it will be more clear than me explaining it. So for now, it's just related to funding source, and it adds to the DoD authorized total amount, and that's about it. When you use it, you'll get clarity to it. So one fine day, just use it. You see how there's a funding amount, and then you start adding, and then not now, Ronaldo.
No. I was just playing with the controls. But what is the difference between this screen and the founding source one? I mean, what do you guys see as a
It's
contingency?
an annexure. It's an annexure. It's funded this much, but they could say that we anticipate that if for the word contingency for unknowns and all, they put down some more amount, keep it as a, got it? So they keep track of how much contingency they added for under what funding source. So some additional buffering of the amount, you can say, something like
Okay.
that. So it's related to funding source.
Okay.
It's related to funding, so it's kind of an annexure to the funding source. So this is
Okay.
one screen I would encourage to use and see what it does. Although it's not, contingency is not defined for all projects, but still it's a significant, like one fine day when you get an issue related to it, it would be nice to know a little about it, and the best way to do it is to use it. You take one case and just add and see what it's asking you to do. It'll ask you to match it against something. It'll say it's not matching with funding, or you still need to add. So there are a couple of validations, number related validations, but best understood when used. Okay, now what else? What is the next option in LLW? Oh, there are many. What is the next?
Link LW to node.
Yeah, and so these are quick ones, which is this attribute called node. So again, this is a LLW which doesn't have, which is just attribute for an LLW. I don't see much significance since years to it for it, or anything coming to R and too much for it. But the nodes associate. Oh God. Just a minute.
Also, you are all packed and ready for your vacation.
No, I haven't packed yet.
Are you like me? I pack like literally the day of or the night before. Like, I'm
Yeah,
like,
sometimes I
"Sure,
do
sure."
that, but I think that I'll be doing this weekend.
Yeah.
But many of my trips I do that the day before. So
Well, you're going for a while, so you need to take a lot of
yeah.
stuff. So.
Yeah, well, I also have some clothes over there, a lot of clothes over there. But I'm actually making a list of the things that I want to take to New. I mean, on my way back,
Mm-hmm.
there's a few things that I want to take back.
Oh, you used to live out there?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Nice.
a few years ago. Yeah,
Nice. And your family like still lives there?
yeah. My parents, my grandmother,
Oh, that's nice.
my
You're gonna spend
siblings.
Christmas with them.
Yeah,
Oh, that's sweet. That's really nice. You're not gonna want to come home.
no, so the weather's a lot better.
I know.
So this is where I'm going.
Mm.
Right in the north center
Oh,
of
it's by
Mexico.
Durango.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean
Mm.
the city that is right next to Gomez Palacio is right next
Mhm.
to it's like New York. I mean Torreon is like New York and Gomez is in Durango. It's like in two different this river is our
It's
Hudson
like
River.
the
Yeah.
oh wow, that's funny. That's good, yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
I'm back, but I think we should end the session because I'm getting disturbed again and again.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we only have
Sure.
9 minutes anyway.
Yeah, and I
We can
think we
continue
covered a lot.
So
with
we'll
those
pick
screens then.
up with Link LLW to Node next time.
Yeah, so Stephanie, I don't know where you're putting these, but wherever you are, just rename them to tell what they hold, means
Yep.
what topics they hold, and make sure they don't expire. And Aldo, the technical one, you also check with Stephanie where she has put hers.
Yeah.
By your side, you should have a folder for technical. Put that, and again suffix it with the topic discussed.
I'm gonna create a new folder in the PTS folders, and it's just gonna be training videos, and then I'll rename them,
Mhm.
and then I'll put the dates.
Then Art can also look at them if he wants to. The day for his manuals if he wants to,
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good, everyone. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Okay,
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you both. Bye bye.
Bye.